Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and today we're jumping right into the November reset. Can I be honest with you? October kind of got away from me. I didn't get into my planner as much as I would have liked, and I know I'm not alone in that. Life happens, routines slip, and before you know it, the month is over and you're wondering where all that intention went. But here's the good news. That's exactly why we do these monthly resets. November is a fresh start, and today we're going to set up the framework for a truly successful month. So grab your planner, grab your favorite pen, and let's do this together. Because I'm behind, I am going to start by decorating my November spread, and I will be putting chapters in here. So if you want to skip ahead to the next part, please do so. But this is where I need to start in order to set myself up for a successful month. I did go ahead and grab the Live Love Posh sticker book that was already sitting on my desk because I have not printed stickers for the last month or so, and I have nothing prepped for the next 2 months as well. Although this sticker book is not available anymore, Live Love Posh does have quite a few fall options as well as other options for seasons throughout the year. This is a very thick sticker book, and I do think that they are high quality stickers, so I think that they're worth the money. However, I have quite the stash, so I am trying to use up what I already have before I invest in more stickers. I am thankful that November looks a little bit calmer than the last couple of months, although my son and I will be doing quite a few college visits here in the next couple of weeks, so that will add to all the craziness. But I am grateful that we have a little bit of downtime from soccer. It looks like he'll only be playing 3-ish nights a week, so we can manage that. My daughter, on the other hand, is not playing club soccer, so she is done with that, and she will just have a few choir performances. That is very doable as compared to the schedule we've been living the last 3 months. So tonight is the first, and there is a concert tonight. Then Tuesday, my kids do not have school because of voting. So my son and I will probably try to schedule a couple college visits that day. Hopefully, we can get some scheduled because we found out that he does not have soccer on Tuesday nights. So that would be the perfect day to go. Wednesday, we do have a school visit, but he'll have to get out of school in order to go. I wish we had already started doing college visits, but there was really only one day this year where we could have done one where he wouldn't have missed soccer, but I didn't know that until the last minute, and it's really hard to schedule college visits at the last minute. My son has a soccer tournament the weekend of the 15th. As of right now, he's only playing in one tournament unless the other team needs additional players, so we'll see if another tournament weekend gets scheduled. Unfortunately, it does get pretty chilly here in central Ohio pretty early, and we have had two tournaments in December the last 2 years, and they have been really cold. So, although he is more than willing to play, if they could be earlier, that's great. Then we have soccer banquets on the 16th and the 20th. So, of course, I may have to choose between going to my son's soccer tournament or going to my daughter's banquet. But since his tournament is out of town, we will pretty much just be there until it's over. But all in all, a fairly quick spread for November. Hopefully, I can get ahead on other tasks around the house. We can get all the college stuff taken care of before Thanksgiving, and then we will be ready for A, the basement reno, and B, the holiday season. So I want to be transparent with you and just admit that this past month was rough, mentally and physically. I just didn't have it in me. I pretty much went quiet for a few weeks and focused on just getting the bare minimum done. But thankfully, I'm starting to come out of it now and I'm ready for the fresh start of the month. Honestly, it was probably for the best that the basement remodel got pushed to December. I needed that breathing room, although now I'm in this limbo. Basement being pushed to December, landscaping up in the air, everything just kind of waiting. So I'm almost feeling like it's the calm before the storm. And I know with this being my son's senior year that there's just more and more and more to come. So I'm trying to stay on top of all that as well. Oddly enough, we just ordered cap and gowns, which it seems so early to be doing that, but I guess if you are serving a lot of high schools in the area, you need to be ahead of the game. But step one for me is setting up my November monthly so I can get a good look at what is coming up. I am grateful that this Live Love Posh sticker book also has some quote stickers in it. So I went ahead and put Veterans Day down on the 11th. I am going to cut the sticker and just put thankful down for Thanksgiving. And then for the sidebar, I'm going to put pumpkin spice and everything nice. Then I'll come back in and write in those items that we've already talked about into the boxes that I've already put on the page. But I'm already feeling better about this month and how much time it looks like we have. And I do know that it will be a little bit deceiving just because of all the things that need to be done that don't necessarily go on the monthly calendar, especially the school search. But now that that's completed, I can move into the next step, which is clearing off my Kanban board. The first thing I'm going to do is take everything that I have completed and put it back into my HB90 notebook where I keep all of the items that still need to be worked on, as well as the items that are done. The only thing that lives in my planner are the things that I want to currently be working on. So those items that I have completed, I will move over into the completed section. I did have one item that was on my Kanban board that I had finished in September. So that just goes to show how little I have touched my planner this month. I'm a little embarrassed, but it's life and I'm ready to reset and get re-energized for the month ahead. All of those teal post-it notes or post-it notes that I did not complete. So those just got thrown in the trash because those are the weekly videos and I can't go back and make those up. They will just get thrown away and I will start fresh and I won't beat myself up. Since I'm already working on the making all the plans tasks, I will go ahead and work through those items that were still on my to-do list and had not made it to the in progress list yet. And again, I will throw away those things that are not relevant anymore. And then I will move those couple things that I did complete over to the completed page. Then again, I am just planning on resetting this Kanban board altogether. So for example, I did have November Kanban and November monthly videos planned, but since I am doing those in this video, I will go ahead and just throw those two post-it notes away. There are some post-it notes that I will repurpose either to put on my completed page or just to push them back a few days to be done later. But this process is not about beating yourself up. Right now, I am just completely resetting the whole Kanban board to a fresh state so that when I go to plan my week out tomorrow, then everything is reset, fresh. There is nothing staring me in the face that I've done wrong. I can just start fresh and plan like nothing has gone wrong. But before I clear off the rest of the Kanban board, I will just stick to the making all the plans tasks and we'll go ahead and lay those out before clearing the slate for everything else. If you haven't gone through this process with me before, I do like to use an erasable pen for some things and a permanent pen for other things. I will go ahead and write the title or the theme of the video at the top in erasable pen in case that changes. And then at the bottom, I will put the date again in erasable pen in case it changes, as it frequently does. Then I'll come back in with the permanent pen and draw in some lines and the boxes. Each one of those boxes represents a subtask for each video, and those subtasks are scripting, videoing, editing, scheduling, and then the heart is to watch and like. And I will just continue to work through this process in reverse chronological order so that when I stack these post-it notes up, the one that I need to work on next is on top. That way I don't have to dig through the post-it notes. Also, these are super sticky 2x2 post-it notes, and they are a post-it brand. I've learned that if I don't use the post-it note brand, that they tend to stop sticking. So the super sticky is really the key to this system working for me. The stencil that I'm using is a Happy Planner stencil. I love the boxes on this one. Normally, I don't use this stencil because I don't like how far away the lines are from each other, but for this purpose, I do like this particular stencil. And anything that I can still find, I will link in the description box below. I will go ahead and jump ahead so that you don't have to watch me write out all of these post-it notes. It is a fairly light month. I did decide that this quarter I would just take it easy on myself and lighten my load a little bit as we made it through the end of soccer season and through the holidays. So my goal is 2 to 3 videos per week. Now on the right hand side, I will go ahead and update the items over there. Those include my Sunday resets, some content calendar creation, things like that. So I will go ahead and update those things while we're here. The red post-it notes are some holiday items that I'm hoping to get to, but I will just go ahead and move everything back into the waiting to be done section so that I can again start fresh tomorrow. Now that I feel good about the making all the plans section, I will go ahead and just move everything else back into the waiting to be done area. So again, I can reevaluate what the priorities are, especially with the basement getting pushed back, not knowing when the bushes are arriving, all of that, and just reevaluate what needs to be the priority for this week. It will more than likely be college things this week and next week. But it's amazing how good I feel clearing that board off and starting fresh. I am not usually one to burn everything down. Not that I have completely redone my process, but just every once in a while, you need a fresh start, and it's okay to start over, even if that just means taking everything off your plate and choosing fewer things to put back on your plate. Now that that's cleared off and ready to start again, I am ready to jump into the monthly reset part where I go through all of my trackers and decide what I need to tweak to be more successful this upcoming month. So I pretty much skipped past the October tracking because I did not close my Apple rings a single time in October. So all I did was write down my weight and move on. Now I'm up to my 25 and 2025 items. I did read 2 more books, and I am going to count 2 things that happened as adventures. Again, they're not positive things, but they definitely were adventures. So, with 2 months left in 2025, I have 2 more books to read, which should not be a problem since I'm more than halfway through one already, and it's the 1st of November. And then I have 4 adventures to take, and I think that that will be accomplished pretty quickly with all of the school visits that we are going on. And I do have 6 days of leave that I need to take before November 15th. So that should be time for at least one extra adventure, right? I do like to keep track of what I've counted as adventures so that I don't forget what things I did count and which things I did not count. So that's what the list is on the back. I do still want to do 25 scrapbooking pages, but we'll see if that gets done. Next, I'll move on to my health tracker, and although my weight has gone down a little bit, everything else has gotten worse. And I know that's because I'm not moving, I'm eating junk. I'm not eating a lot, but when I do eat, it's junk and a lot of Dr. Pepper, which is my weakness. So, those are things I want to focus on in the month ahead. Just moving my body more, nothing super strenuous. Don't want to hurt myself as I ease back into things, and just cutting back on the sugar and starting to make healthier choices, which is normally easier when it's not high school soccer season. Then I'll flip over to my Apple Watch stats, and they're awful. They are probably the worst that they've ever been. But again, not going to beat myself up, giving myself grace, ready to just start fresh. Then we'll get through this quickly and move on to tracking my books. And I do track the number of my books in 25 and 25. However, I do like to write the names of the books on my shelves. There are more than 25 books on these shelves, though, so there is room in case I do go over the number that I wanted to do. And I am hoping to come back in and color in the books and the shelves and all of that to make it look complete, but that's not something that has to be done. So if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. So even though I have two more books that I want to read to reach my goal, there are, I think, 12 more spots left, and I don't think I'm going to get 12 books read in the next 2 months, but you never know. We'll see. I do count audiobooks as well, so that is about the only shot I have of getting 12 books completed. Then last but not least, my making all the plans tracker, and I only posted 6 videos this month. And again, thank you everybody for your patience because it was hard getting just those 6 out. I do hope to do better this month and to continue to produce quality content that you guys like to watch and that is helpful for you. But even though I only put out 6 videos, my numbers were not horrible. But I'm very grateful for everybody that stuck with me and continued to watch the videos that I put out, even though they came out a lot more slowly than usual. I do keep my stats from last year in my planner as well, just so I can compare the numbers from last year. And as you can see, last October, I did not put out a ton of videos either compared to the other months. Next year may be a little bit different since my son won't be in high school, but if my daughter continues to play soccer, then it will still continue to eat into that time that I have available. And October is always busier than the other months for some reason. I don't think that I'll be revisiting my routines or resets until the first of the year. Right now, I just want to try to settle back in. I am going to go ahead and review where I ended up with with my goals, even though it wasn't the greatest month. I still want to track that and document it so that when I look back, I can see what actually was going on in my life and why I struggled to meet my targets. But goal one is always around making all the plans. And I just reviewed what I said throughout the video. Basically, October was a hard month. It took everything I had just to do the basic things. And I was just grateful that my world didn't completely collapse. So I'm trying to rebuild consistency and good habits. Goal two was around the basement, and although I do have a few things that I need to do down there before the contractors start, there was no movement whatsoever on the basement. The contractors did push us back until at least December. So this month, I really would like to just get everything cleaned up, straightened up, pared down a little bit more, and ready to go for the contractors. Goal three revolves around my son's college, and we did start working on applications and schools now that high school soccer is over. So hopefully, we'll have apps and everything done before Thanksgiving. So, this quarter was the first quarter in a very long time that I did not have any health goals. And I really feel called to focus a little bit more on my health than I have been. I do know that when I feel good, I think clearer, I get more done, I have more energy. So, I really want to get back to feeling good. And I'm thinking that I need to tweak some things and adjust my schedule and just get back to spending a little bit of time on my own health goals. Even though I sat here at the beginning of the quarter and was like, I am just going to put my health on the back burner until the first of the year and then we will revisit things. Well, that time is now. I need to move. I need to feel better. And the only way that I can do that is by changing my habits and getting back on track with my routines and resets that I have already put in place. I know that it's going to be hard to get back to that point, but it's time to dive in and start working on those health goals now. And then hopefully in January, I will be in the swing of things and be able to step it up a notch. So I'm thinking about using this traveler's notebook to build a tracker. And I did print off some pictures from when I had lost a bunch of weight. I don't need to get this thin again, but I would like to feel better. And I just remember how good I felt in my skin at this point in my life. And not only did I feel healthier, I was more adventurous. I was happier. I was lighter, and not just physically lighter, but just lighter spiritually, mentally. I could think clearer and quicker. And yes, I was younger, but not that much younger. So I really would like to start to get back to this place. So I started by counting how many boxes there were across, and I think there were 48 or 49, but not enough for each day to have two boxes. So I did squish them together, but I alternated which line they were on just so that it would be easier to write them in and also to read them in the long run. These boxes are really tiny in these traveler's notebooks, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to read the numbers. Then I grabbed a highlighter so I could also highlight every other column in order to be able to differentiate which day I was actually looking at and tracking on. I debated on whether or not I should draw lines the other way too, so they kind of made a checkerboard pattern, but I decided that that might be too busy. And instead, I don't have a ton of things that I want to track, so I will just skip a line in between each of the items that I'll be tracking. I did think that this solution would be better than keeping it in my planner because I can just throw this in my purse so that it reminds me to do things throughout the day. But the things that I have decided that I wanted to start tracking, partially based upon the success that I've had in the past, but also just trying to get back into good routines and good habits. So, intermittent fasting is the first thing. And for me, this really means to stop eating at 8 o'clock at night. And now that soccer is over, this should be much easier to achieve. When you don't get home from work until 10 o'clock at night, it's hard to fast from 8 p.m. to 10 a.m. The next thing is working out every day, and this doesn't have to be an intense workout. At one point, I was running 7 miles a day. I don't want to just start running 7 miles a day. I just want to start moving my body some more. The next thing is starting my day off with a supplement called Intestinal Restore. It just feels so good in my body. And I know one of the reasons why I stopped taking it was I just threw everything out the window, even though it was something that was easy to do and made me feel good. The next thing is an AM routine, which just means instead of sitting around, whether it be a day that I work at home or a weekend, to get up and get showered and brush your teeth and do your hair and your makeup and stuff and just be ready for the day. Next thing is tracking my food. I do use the app MyFitnessPal, and only because it makes me think about my food. I'm not restricting, I'm not doing huge calorie cutting or anything like that. It just makes me aware of what I'm putting in my body, and it makes me think before I grab 4 cookies to eat or something along those lines. We also have a tracker that we use for work where we get discounts if we track certain things. And tracking my food feeds into that tracker, but I also need to log into that app every day just so I can get my full points. So that is something else I would like to make routine again. Then my bedtime routine, that is actually more about getting into bed at a reasonable time. So coming upstairs, brushing my teeth, putting my retainer in so that I don't go back down and snack anymore, and then start winding down and getting ready for bed. And I would like for that to include reading for at least 10 minutes. Then I want to get back to closing my Apple rings. I did lower my goals. They were 730 and 12. So if you know anything about Apple Watch, you'll understand that. And I did go ahead and lower it to 620 and 12. And I'm hoping to bump that up again the first of the year. But for now, I'm hoping that I can achieve that. Then, of course, drinking more water. I also put in some bonus items, and those are no takeout, which I am sure we will still do some takeout, but this would be more like packing my lunch for work. The next is no soda, and again, that is one of my weaknesses, sugar and sugary drinks especially. So that one's going to be hard, and I don't plan on going cold turkey. And then last but not least is one line a day because I have been trying to catch up, but I just need to get back in the habit again of writing the one line a day. In addition to using this as a mini vision board and a tracker, I am also going to go ahead and write some workouts in this notebook so that it's easy to carry around with me. This first one that I want to write down is the 30-day kettlebell challenge, and I am not planning on doing this every day this month, but this is what I want to work up to. And I'm thinking that I will do the 30-day kettlebell challenge in December, maybe. But I know that if I did 100 swings, 50 around the worlds, 25 deadlifts, 25 upright rows, and a 30-second plank today, that tomorrow I probably wouldn't even be able to lift the kettlebell. So again, I don't want to hurt myself. I'm just going to ease in. As much as I like to dive in head first, I know that my body would reject that at this stage in my life. So I'm going to ease in and work my way back up. I miss the 7 mile runs more than anything, and I never thought that I would say that. I used to find running the most boring thing ever, and now I just find it calming, and I love the quiet time that comes along with running because I do usually run alone, whether it be on the treadmill or around the neighborhood. But I know this was a long monthly reset, but thank you for coming along with me. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. This is my favorite time of year coming up, getting planners picked and set up for the next year. I do know that some things are going to have to be tweaked and modified already, so I hope you come back and join me as we start putting together our planners for 2026. I hope everybody has a great start to their November, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!